And I heard on the street, Taraji, you had the audacity to say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot.
Yeah.
Well, have to. The math ain't mathin'. And when you start working a lot, you know, you have a team. Big bills come with what we do. We don't do this alone. The fact that we're up, there's a whole entire team behind us.
Yes.
They have to get paid. So when you hear someone saying, oh, such and such made $10 million, no, that's not that didn't make it to their account. Know that off the top, Uncle Sam is getting 50%.
That's right.
Okay? So do the math. Now we have $5 million. Your team is getting 30% or whatever your team is off of what you grossed.
Sometimes
not
more.
after what Uncle Sam took. Now do the math. So I'm
You're tired.
I'm only human, and it seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I get that.
It wears on you, you know? Because what does that mean? What is that telling me?
What is it telling me? Yeah. And what does it tell me? Yeah.
You know? And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the fuck am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I think it's an important message for people to hear because we see the lights, camera, action.
And then
And
they
it's so
tell me we
glamorous,
don't
yes.
translate overseas.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing that my entire career, 20 plus years in the game, and I hear the same thing, and I see what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bed, you don't have any money. They play in your face. And I'm just supposed to smile and grin and bear it and just keep, like, enough is enough. That's why I have other things. I have my TPH brand. I have my mental wellness. I have other ththings because this industry, if you let it, it'll steal your soul. But I refuse to let that happen.
Yes. Yeah, there's a song in there about life can never break your soul. It's a quote from one of the songs that Hallie sings in the movie. It seems like this is the right time for people to hear something like this, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was deliberate, wasn't it, Blitz?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everything you did in this movie was deliberate.
Wow. And I mean, just, you know.
Just hearing that is...
yes. And
we have to take that in for a minute.
I have
we really
to.
do.
I
don't
have
want to gloss over that.
I mean, you know, and T, just so you know, calling you was giving you your flowers. I just want you to know that. You know, we've talked about this before. We've talked about the challenges. And for me, you, Fantasia, Danielle, knowing how hard they fought to not have you all here, and knowing how hard we had to fight to ensure that, is what you just said right now rings so true. And we have to be brave, y'all. We have to be brave. And, you know, I'm sure there are filmmakers here or listening to this podcast. You have to go with your heart. And
You had to fight for this couch. You had to fight for this.
Single one of them. And
What was the fight for you? What was the what was the pushback?
Well, first of all, it's exactly what you're saying, T, which is that, especially for black women, and I'm going to be very specific, it was like you were never here. And the fact that each one of you, every single one of you, had to audition for this role, roles that were second nature to you.
Second nature, yes.
Roles that no one should even question. Just the minute the name comes up, the question is, how much? How much do you have?
Yes.
I learned something very important here, that especially it's not enough just to come in and be a director. You have to come in, be a therapist, be a friend, be a brother, be a champion, understand that we have to break cycles, understand that what happens here is going to be it's going to be an example. And every time that I look now, and I've seen this movie now, I don't know how many times, because I have to sit through it all every time.
Do you sit through it and watch it from beginning to end?
As often as I can.
Because you want to hear the audience reaction?
That, but also, I've run into people who are like, "Oh, I've seen this movie 3 times already." First of all, I'm going, how? Because, seriously, because we just started.
Not out yet.
And that's what I told you when I run into you today, is knowing how much the original, how many times the rewatch value.
Yes.
I've been so moved knowing how much people are, how many times over. That's the real gift. The real gift is that this is going to keep giving. And the work that you guys have done in this film is going to inspire way beyond what we can see.
Amen. Yeah.
Right? And that, for me, ultimately, there's no reward they can ever give us for that. Knowing what the healing power that exists in this work, because we all came in harmony to do that healing work. I mean, most times rehearsals were therapy. We'll literally read a few lines, talk about the scene, and then we break into family. And I know this person like this. My own uncle is like, my own father is like, my mother went through this. And before you knew it, we had built this real bond. And so I say this to say,
And that bond came very quickly.
very quickly.
Yes.
But I also say this: you've got to choose right. You know, if you're a director, it's a huge responsibility, because you're going to be the one with them every day. No one should tell you who to pick for this work. It is sacred work. Again, going back to that.
Yes.
And if our collective faith, I say this all the time, your faith in me, my faith in you, is how this movie comes together. There's no amount of paying a superstar to come play Suge will give this performance. This is you believing, right? And so I say that to say, I hope the work we did breaks those terrible and discriminatory ways. They get to see that we did it our way and we won. And I think, you know, you were saying something earlier, Danielle, about just seeing it, you know, being 15 and seeing it as possible. And I think that, I hope that a director will see it. And I have to be also very honest, watching Ryan Coogler do a similar thing. Yes. Picking people he loved and trusted, right? And I watched the love and camaraderie that they had during those press runs for The Color Purple, and I said, "Thank God, I can see that." And so,
for Black Panther,
Black
Panther, and I remember saying, "This is what I want for myself. When my time comes, I want people I love who love me."
Yeah.
Right. And hopefully now somebody now has 2. They can go Black Panther and The Color Purple. Oh, I remember that Color Purple press run. It was a thing.
Yes.
And that's what I want.
It is a thing, though.
And that's
really
what I
is.
want. And I think that's what this is all about, is just being exemplar.
That's right.
And having something that somebody can look at and go, wow, that's something to aspire to.
Yes.
That's right.